Okay, well, I wanted to record myself reacting to the Demacia metagame in League of Legends. And so I booted up the League client, and I was like, okay, I'm going to need a second to set up my OBS to capture so that it doesn't capture my whole desktop to capture. And then I open up the League client and it just starts playing the intro cutscene. I don't even get to say, hey, I'd like to. So you missed the intro cutscene. It's not super important, but there was some nice graphics there that I kind of wanted to record. It's mostly just Tiana Crown Guard telling Lux is like, oh, you're Crown Guard, you have to learn tactics. So, history. We're gonna do history, and now here is Demacia in the very, very early days before there really was a kingdom, and this is the first settlement of Demacia, which is Sephira, apparently, and we have to click on it. So I guess we'll click on it.
Though they are not glamorous, your resources are what will feed your nation.
Okay. My personal opinion is that maybe farming should be priority number one, but okay, we'll do wood.
That is all you can do for now.
And then I guess I pass a day.
Our defenses require soldiers, and soldiers require training.
These things make sense. Food produced anywhere, perhaps Sephira could use a farm. Yes. See, that's what I was saying just a moment ago.
Hunger. The most pressing adversary for any army.
Well, that and disease. But I don't suspect we'll be training doctors here, will we? So, okay. Let's just have a look, because I genuinely, earnestly, and honestly, I really quite like the art direction of this little metagame. Like, take a look at the illustrations that they do for, like, the mountains and stuff. Just, this is such a simple technique, but it's so useful. If you want to do cliffs and mountainsides like that, just do some hatching. Just, like, hatching on the shadow side to imply, like, the roughness of the rock face and to create that sense of like, shadow to contrast against the high. Such a simple, very simple way to do it, but always, always effective. Same thing with these clouds. These clouds are delightful. Look at that. Look at these, like, contrasting, overlapping, bulbous shapes. And again, hatching. Just good old-fashioned illustration techniques. Little hatching stripes rather than painting. Used to give them volume, I think. Same thing you see here, even with the trees, right? I'm weirdly, I'm endlessly charmed by the clouds. These little bubble wisps of cloud. What a wonderful little stylization. How charming. Clouds look nothing like this in real life, of course, but what a charming stylization. And, like, some artists spent a not insignificant chunk of time making all these assets also. Because, like, these are presumably petricite trees, right? And as far as I can tell, they are all 100% unique? Yeah, as far as I can tell, these are completely unique illustrations, all of them. They're not just copy-pasted or rotated or flipped, which is impressive. Because normally, like, with game assets, right, like, you would want to make something that you can just kind of copy-paste and sort of infinitely iterate upon or procedurally generate, but these seem to be handcrafted illustrations. And looking over the map, it really does look like... I mean, I have to imagine whoever was doing this must have done some fucking copy-pasting with the fucking trees in the forest blobs, right? And again, tasteful use of hatching to imply, like, the big standing fields of trees, but very effectively so. Yeah, they must have been copy-pasting some of these little things. Like, that's the kind of thing when you have to paint that many of the little trees like that, you'd make a brush, right? Like, you would make a brush that can sort of generate those shapes, and I would suspect... So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for the telltale signs of a brush, right? Like, which is, like, repeated repeated patterns of like outline or volume or whatever. The thing is, no. Oh wait, no. Yeah? No. Surely not. They must have, because it would be deranged of them to have actually hand-drawn the outlines of all of these. Because this is a big map, and most of it is unpopulated, and I don't think most of it is going to be actual gameplay area. But I really like this illustration style. Like, someone at Riot... Someone at Riot spent a long fucking time putting this together. And it's really pretty. Charming little Demacians walking around there as well. One wonders what's in Viscasia. Or Viscasia, or however the hell you're supposed to pronounce it. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to catch. They must have used a brush for the fucking trees. They must have. Surely. It would be insane otherwise, but... No. Every time I think I've caught, like, a little tree trunk that looks copy-pasted, every time I think I've caught a pattern of, like, bumps and ridges in the treetops, and I'm like, oh, I saw that one before, and I go and check, and it's like, no. No, that looks unique. That does look like it was hand-drawn every time, but it can't fucking have been. No one would do that. Is that a cave? My, my. I swear to God, whoever the fuck did this right, they must have used some brushes somewhere. This is they did not hand draw all of the map. There's no way in hell. They must have done some copy pasting and some brushing. 'Cause okay, enough wondering over that, being impressed by it. Let's advance the day. I don't know that I'm going to do like a whole Let's Play series of this. I don't think there's that much point to. I just wanted to check it out because I quite liked how it looked in the little cinematic they did trailer thing to show it off. I do wish I could zoom in. I want to zoom in on him. I want to see the illustration up close. I bet they'll have it at the wiki eventually. Okay, not a lot of creative freedom for me here.
Zephyra is growing too big for its borders. Time to expand, Luxana.
Okay, so the energy mechanic we have here is silver shields, and you get those from playing TFT or League of Legends. Okay, I guess I'll play some TFT missions if I get interested enough in this. Let's see, Zephyra. There's some Drake Hounds there. My, my. And I can't train any more dudes? No, okay. Okay. There. Ooh, look at that moon.
The stage is set. All you can do now is hope your decisions were sound.
I didn't have much of a choice, Aunt Tiana.
I won't let you down, Aunt Tiana.
I'm so endlessly charmed by the fucking cross-hatching. This background illustration, too. Am I supposed to do anything, or is this just fully auto-battling? Seems like it's auto-battling. I want to... Oh, again, I need to go to the wiki and find that once they upload it. But I do want to take a closer look at that background illustration, because the artist is doing a really good job with depth of perspective. And now we build there. And that costs 200 silver shields,
now,
of course.
Luxana. Expansion is not free.
But they give you a bunch of free energy at first to hook you into it. Yeah, yeah. Well, very mobile game, absolutely. I can't imagine what it must have been like to have lived in Demacia back then. Ooh, these illustrations are good too. Invaders, thunderstorms, dragons, so dangerous. It may even have been more dangerous than we remember. Time has a way of dulling memory's chisel. How could anyone live with so much fear and pain? One can endure anything if it is all they know. Maybe, but people still have families, hopes and dreams. What would you have done if you were alive back then, Aunt Tiana? You forget, Luxana, that as long as one's resolve is maintained, no threat can shake you. Pointedly avoiding answering the question there. Maybe you would have been queen. I prefer not to deal in hypotheticals. It distracts from one's present duties. I'm sorry, Aunt Tiana, but everything we're doing here is a huge hypothetical. Let's see. Build another farm. The first farm in a Heartland settlement gives extra food. Better build an extra farm to get extra food in the Heartland settlement. Let's build another lumberyard, I suppose. Probably. But I don't have access to that much more else, and I can't train any more dudes before I have more farms. And there's this one, which Poppy champion unit is recommended. Ooh, Poppy is in here. I wonder what the 2 and the 8 represents. I guess that's how many units are in the pack.
Strength is not enough. It is our ingenuity that guarantees survival.
And research, blah blah, unlock requires valor, which is gained from winning battles, upgrading settlements, and random events. Okay. Battle pass bonus. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I get that just for having a partner account, so I'll take it. Oh, no. Okay, they want me to... okay, so that... Yeah. Okay, so I still have to activate it with codes. Riot did send me a code for the Battle Pass for this thing, but I gave all the codes away to people on the Discord. Because I didn't anticipate that I would need them, and I think I was right. Right, so I would want Poppy before I go and deal with... What else is on this battle? What's the... Okay. Piercing strikes. Morgana? I could just have Morgana. Well, I guess that makes sense. That does make sense, because this is like early days of Demacian history when Morgana and Kael would still have been around and been more active. There she is, too. And Galio. Ooh, nice. I am curious to see their animation in battle. Because, like, I commented on it previously, but, like, the animation of the regular units in the fights that we saw in the trailer and stuff were pretty basic. Understandably so. So for the moment, what can I possibly unlock? Absolutely fuck all except the archers, I suppose. They seem like they'd be useful.
Though our military prefers the crossbow, its elegant cousin excels in speed.
I guess I can undo an action. Yeah. All these lessons, it's just so much to keep in my head. Lux, baby girl, honestly, we're not even done with the tutorial, girl. Do not sell yourself short. You are doing better than you think. In fact, you remind me of myself at your age. I was only a few years older when I enlisted. You served with my father and uncle too, didn't you? Yes. The family had lofty expectations for us all. But you rose higher than either of them, didn't you, Aunt Tiana? I'll never forget the pressure, the desire to prove my worth. It was exhausting. But, like Demacian steel, it was pressure that created excellence. It's pressure that creates material fatigue and extremely exploitable weak points. I think we handle pressure differently, you and I. Stay the course, Luxana. You have potential. It is my duty to help you realize it. Right. Establish a new settlement near Vescatia. Is that in Brook Hollow, I guess? Or even more. There is one Krug, but they take much less damage. Right, so I need archers for that. Right. Makes sense, I suppose. For which I'd need a barracks level 2. Which I have here. So I can do that, so I can do this, I can do ta. Lata! Oh, it takes them a little longer to be produced, does it? Lazy archers. Let's see. Must upgrade settlement. Upgrading settlement would cost me way more silver shields than I have access to. Same thing with you, and also a lot of wooden lumber and same thing. And I don't have access to the rock resource yet, so that's just moot anyway. That's just moot anyway. I suppose I could train another unit of guards, but how many can I deploy? I can deploy 3 units to this. So I guess it would make sense to train another unit of guards. I don't suppose there's anything else on the map. No, okay. But for now. Hooray! And another guard unit. And I don't think it makes sense to do that much else. Okay, so you guys go there. And that'll take a few turns. Doop. And we do battle. Whoa!
I expect justice. Now strike.
Oh yeah, very simple. God, what a beautiful background illustration again. Look at the way they're rendering the mountain back here. Man, I just needed time to look at this.
Calm down, Luxana. Such excitement is unbecoming.
What, Hermes? Oh. Oh, wow. And that'll be the end of... I have no idea if settlements can be attacked. So I'll just send them. But that'll be the end of what I'm capable of doing with initial resources. Now I'm going to have to play some TFT, I suppose, to get enough silver shields to actually build the damn thing. Well, okay then. Once again, like this, in terms of mechanics, in terms of what this game is, it's very little more than like most mobile games. You like the sort of like not quite. It's not doesn't seem as predatory, at least. Like I'm not. There is an energy mechanic, but the energy mechanic is getting you to play the actual video game, right? Rather than energy mechanic being watch ads. And I do prefer that. I will say over a mobile game that wants me to watch ads or buy more energy. I do prefer, like, the price you must pay is you have to play League of Legends, which, you know, that's also pretty devastating to the soul, but at least it's moderately more entertaining than watching an ad in a mobile game app. I'm kidding, League of Legends is fine, but I'll be playing TFT. Genuinely genuinely very... Like, look, you can see the fucking... Here's another little thing about these hatchings. You can see where the hatchings are imperfect, too, right? You can see where, the pen, or well, the pen tool, I suppose, slipped out over the edge, right? Like, you can see the little... Like, the little catch where they've done a little maneuver to sort of roughen up the lines on the hatch. You can see the inconsistency of the line weight, right? Like where they're using whatever brush they're using in their art tool of choice, hopefully not Photoshop. Like, God, imagine working on something this big in Photoshop, Jesus. Clip Studio, if they're smart. I'm sure they have a computer that can handle it. They're using like a really nice brush that seems, I suspect, either imitating like a good hard pencil or maybe a ballpoint pen even. I wonder if it's a consistent, because I think they'd be using a different brush for these bits here than they do for the clouds, because like the clouds definitely look like, well, actually, what kind of pen is that? Is that pencil? Probably a pencil, right? Like a digital pencil? Feels like it should be. On the other hand, with a little dotting line and like, I don't know. It could be a paintbrush pen. I've often used those to do hatching before. They can be quite good at it. Like these, like, just the fact that there's imperfections in them too, right? This is another thing. I have always, for as long as I've lived, I have loved imperfection in art the most. I love imperfection. I love mistakes. And I love flaws and faults. I love moments where an artist's pen didn't quite do what they envisioned in their head, where it's not quite perfectly smooth, where the line weight isn't perfectly consistent. I love that shit. To me, that's the joy, that's the soul of traditional art, is the fact that the condition of being human means that you will fuck up, right? You will fuck up something. Like, your muscle control will never be perfect. You will screw up a line, you will fuck up an outline, you'll mess something up, you'll chicken scratch something that shouldn't be chicken scratched. That shit will be somewhere. And I thank you for letting me zoom in this close on it, Riot. I genuinely do appreciate that. I'm seeing so much of that. I'm seeing so much of those little fuck-ups. Those little... Which, again, like, in the age of AI, especially. God, I'm gonna be depressed if it turns out they made this with AI. They didn't. There's no way in hell. There's literally no way in hell. But the little fuck-ups, the little mistakes, that's the kind of shit that AI can't do. AI can't make mistakes, right? It cannot have an intention and then fail to execute upon it. Or have a mechanical discipline and then have something go wrong with it, right? It can't have a practiced hand that slips. It can't do that. It can replicate something that looks bad, right? AI can look shit. AI can look garbage. AI can look cheap, right? But it can't make mistakes. It can't fuck up, right? One of the things that generative AI struggles with really, really badly, I've talked about this before, they can't make ugly kittens or puppies. They can't make pictures of kittens and puppies that aren't cute because basically 100% of all the kitten and puppy pictures on the internet that those models are trained on are of cute kittens and puppies, because those are the pictures of kittens and puppies that people put on the internet to be scraped, right? But that means that the data sets and the samples that the AI models have, they don't have ugly pictures of kittens and puppies in them, basically at all. And it's very, very hard to get the AI model to output like a fucked up, ugly-looking puppy or kitten, right? Because that's the inherent bias that exists at the heart of these models, is the bias towards... And that's the same thing with these mistakes, right? Like, you cannot tell the AI model, give me a line drawing, but then sometimes the artist's hand slips. Because that shit isn't in their data set. Like, they don't have it in their data set where it's like, here's a line that was accidentally extended past where it was supposed to go for the completion. Like, AIs don't have a mode of conceptualizing that, of understanding what those kinds of mistakes are. So mistakes are one of the things that I think, as the age of AI wears on, mistakes are something I think we're going to come to prize a lot more in art as evidence of humanity, as evidence of the capacity for intent, right? As evidence for the capacity to fuck up. Because AI models can only ever output statistical averages. Like, that's all they're built. They are just math, right? That's one of the reasons why they're not conscious. They are just math, outputting whatever the math says is the most statistically likely accepted outcome from a user. A user says, generate me line drawing of mountains, and the AI model goes, okay, I'm going to look at everything I have in my dataset that says line drawing of mountains, and I'm going to generate what my statistical model says is the most likely desired output. Like, what's the most likely output that the user will say okay to? That they will validate as a correct output. And that's what it's going for. So it's always aiming for lowest common denominators. It can't make a bold or interesting choice. It can't have an aesthetic idea. It can't develop an aesthetic identity. All it can do is output averages. And when you output an average of 500,000 lines, what you get is mostly a perfect line, right? What you like, or at least a line that looks perfect, right? If you had 600,000 line drawings of someone trying very hard to do nice lines and stay inside and not like make mistakes, when you generate the average of all of those drawings that attempt not to make mistakes, even if a few mistakes sneak in here and there, what you get is something without mistakes in it, right? Like, what you get is something that on a statistical average says, well, on a statistical average, they did not make mistakes, and so therefore on a statistical average, mistakes will not be replicated here. And so those mistakes vanish, right? Like, AI can make stuff that looks bad, that looks wrong, that doesn't make sense, but it can't make mistakes. Right? It can't fuck up because it didn't understand. It can't fuck up because it wasn't thinking right, or because it hadn't flipped the drawing in 45 minutes and had sort of stared itself blind on an anatomical error or whatever. It can't do those things. Human beings can. We have the capacity for that kind of error, which is something that AI cannot and will never replicate, because that's not what they're for. And so for me, looking at drawings like this, pieces of art like this background drawing for essentially a mobile game inside of a free-to-play MOBA, it's the fuck-ups. It's the mistakes. It's the odd little details. It's the chicken scratching. It's the weird artifacting around the color surfaces here. It's the compression like, it's the little fuck-ups. It's the little weirdness. It's the rough edges. That's the shit that I get off on. And I don't mean that sexually, but emotionally I get off on it. Like, that, to me, that gives me the vibe of, I'm seeing an artist's hand. I'm seeing a person here. I've used this example before. I'll end this video in a minute, probably. I don't know. Maybe I'll sit here for another 45 minutes and just yap. But I've used this example before. One of the oldest forms of global art that we know, right? Of art that shows up across the world, across cultures, that seems to be kind of universal to the human species to some extent, is the hand, the outline of a hand, right? Because you will find those in cave paintings from like 40,000 years ago, and from 10,000 years ago, and from 30,000 years ago, and you'll find them like in Borneo and in France and in like cave paintings in South America. You'll find them everywhere. Many, many, many cultures on Earth will have examples where we have found cave paintings where one of the depictions that are in there, one of the things that's consistently depicted is the outline of a human hand, right? Like, that's just a signifier, a symbol that human beings, to some extent, very logically, because they sit on the end of our hands, seem to have found universal, right? The outline of a human hand. And I get emotional when I see those paintings, because it's so grounding. It's so, whatever motherfucker put his hand up to the wall and traced an outline, or spat, sometimes they'll have splashed pigment over a hand and then pulled the hand away to leave the outline, the imprint of a hand. Whoever did that was doing exactly the same thing that I was doing in kindergarten. Putting my hand down on a piece of paper and tracing the outline. The same thing. Exactly the same thing. someone 40,000 years ago, someone who is, genetically speaking, probably my ancestor to some extent, 40,000 years ago, someone who's more distant from me than the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians are from me, like the ancient Chinese, someone who's more distant in time and space and genetic legacy from me than that. They did the same thing. They looked at their hand and went, I can draw an outline of that, and that'll be fun, and that'll be recognizable, that'll be me, that'll be human, that'll be person, that'll mean something, that'll feel like something. I did that when I was a kid. And motherfuckers in caves were doing it 40,000 fucking years ago. That's the human hand, right? Like that's the evidence of person, right? So for me, when I look for the human hand in something like this, because like this is a piece of extremely commercial art. This is essentially a mobile game inside of a free-to-play game published by a company that's owned by Tencent, right? Like it's as commercial gets, but there's a human hand here. I look at this and I see the outline of a hand. I see a person sitting down with their fucking pen in their fucking art program, like I've done a million times before, sitting down and going, okay, I'm going to draw this like, fuck. I'm going to draw this like, fuck. Okay, Control Z, I'm going to draw this like, Control Z, I'm going to draw this like, Control Z, I'm going to... Someone sat down and did this for this. Right, like, sat down and fucking hit undo 5 billion times and had ideas about composition and proportionality and how they wanted to shape the mountains, and like they're balancing how many of the mountains wave this way, how many of them, like, someone sat down and did that shit the same way that I used to do it when I did commissions for a living, the same way that I occasionally still do it when I draw something for my, like, tabletop game nowadays. I see the human hand there, and I feel a connection, right? I feel there was a person here, right? In the same way that the handprints in the caves reach across fucking millennia of time and say, hey, I was here. I was a person. I was alive. I was here. I was like you. I felt the way that you feel. I traced my hand the way that you did when you were a kid. In small ways, even in commercial, attention grabber, battle pass funneling art like this. I look at that and I see a person. Like there was a person here. I was here. I chicken scratched this shit. I hit undo 5 million times. I hatched all of these fucking clouds. I made decisions about how to render the sides of these mountains. There's a person here. I'll never meet them or talk to them, I think, but... But in a small, small way, I know them. In fact, like, probably multiple people were here. If we're doing, like, this is presumably not the work of just one guy. Presumably, like, maybe there was a guy doing the lion work, then there's a guy doing the coloring. Maybe they split the illustration up across, like, multiple illustrators to do, like, handle various parts of it. Certainly someone else handled probably someone else handled the illustrations of some of the assets, like the caves and shit. It's not just one guy. Like, I don't want to... And it might not even be a guy at all, should also be noted, but you know what I mean. It's not just one person, but there are people here, right? There's evidence of a human soul here. Even in the dregs of the soulless corporate, there's evidence of a human soul. You get that too with mobile games sometimes. Like occasionally, there is a mobile game, like there are mobile game ads that I see sometimes online where it's like, I occasionally look at it and go, oh, someone made an artistic choice there. Not usually very interesting ones or like mind-blowing or whatever, but like amongst all the slop, occasionally you see a thing where you see, oh, there's a character illustration in this thing that someone made a choice there. Like someone there was having a creative process and you can see it. And you go, hey, there's a person. There's a person there. It's not just a product there. There is a person in there somewhere. That's what AI is going to kill. Or, well, no, it's not. Like, AI is going to fail spectacularly is what's going to happen. It's never, ever, ever. Like, it'll never replace human artists. It's never gonna happen. What it will do is cause extreme economic damage to hundreds of thousands of people who are just trying to get by doing art for a living, but it'll never replace human artists, because human beings will always need that human hand. Like, they'll always need that human connection. We need it. It's not optional. Like, this is another one of the things about those cave paintings, right? Like, 40,000 years ago, no electricity, no penicillin, no farming. They hadn't invented farming yet. They hadn't invented fucking anything yet, basically. 40,000 years ago. Do you not think someone would have something better to do with their time than fucking trace an outline of their hand in a cave, right? 40,000 years ago, when, like, the main concerns that you ought to have as a human being is find food, like, survive long enough to reproduce, don't get killed by a bear, right? Like, it's like, those should be the priorities you would imagine in your head. That it's like, oh, it's like lives back then were nasty, brutish, and short, as I think it was John Locke who framed it, right? Like, that was a brutal time of primitivism, and like there was no time for like the finer things in life. Except, no, there was time. And it's like, when you look back at those cave paintings and you look back at that, the fact that people even back then spent their time doing this shit, making art, what you come away with is an understanding that this shit isn't optional. Art is not a luxury. It's not an optional thing. It's not something that, like, yo, that we can do that when we have all our other needs covered. No, art is a need. Human beings need to do this. It is necessary in order to be a human being. At some point, there has to be an expression. Right? Even if you're starving, even if you're cold, even if, like, you should probably be spending more time putting food away for the winter, at some point, some motherfucker is going to pick up a little thing and scratch a picture in the dirt, or carve their initials into a tree bark, or draw an outline of their fucking hand in a cave painting. Human beings do this. For as long as human beings have existed, all the time, over and over and over again, we find evidence of art, of artistic endeavor, of people making shit just because they think it looks neat, just because they think it's nice. Just becomes meditative to scratch out a little thing, or carve something out of wood, or make a little toy, or whatever. It is not optional. It is not food and water. Like, when you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, along with food and water, fucking art has to be pretty damn close to the bottom there. It has to be pretty damn close to bedrock, because it's not optional. It's not optional. Human beings have to do art in order to be human, right? And by art, I don't just mean visual art. I mean singing. I mean tapping a little rhythm with your fingers on your legs when you're impatient. Like, I mean, all of that shit. Like, that shit isn't optional. It's not something we just do out of idleness. It's something we do because there's something in there, in our genetics, or some accident of our hormone production, or some weird glitch in our brain with a neuron that got connected to something it wasn't supposed. Whatever the fuck the case may be, human soul, if you want to call it that, but you don't really need to reach for the soul for the explanation here. You need art. You need to do it. You need to do art somehow, in some way. It's necessary. It's necessary to express ourselves. It is not optional. It is as vital to the human endeavor and to the human condition as food and water and air. So AI can go fuck itself. Because it is not food, it is not water, and it is not air. But art is those things. Anyway, I just think the drawings in this little distraction engine are neat. And I want to look at some more of them, I think.